Okay, so I have this plate and I want to put some lettering here. I have no idea. I know the size of this area, but as far as like where these lay in my software, I don't know where those are at. So what I do is I have text that I printed out and I make sure they are in boxes. Okay. I want to put those here, but the problem is the paper is opaque. So how do I lay that on top of that? Well, I'm going to cut these out and show you. Pretty sweet. First thing I did was I made sure this surface was clean using acetone. Okay. The next, I have to find a Sharpie marker. And some rubbing alcohol. Now what I do is I take this and spray it down with rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol it doesn't hurt anything. In fact, it turns it translucent. Ink toner is non-reactive to it. I can just put this down where I want it to go, and I can now see the underlaying scroll work. And now I can see the spacing, and I can also see if it's straight. Keep that one there. I like it there. I'll spread material. And I'll put that into position. Again, I don't want it touching the other scroll work. Cool. Now, I'm going to let that dry for a second, and then I'm going to take this Sharpie marker, so I might want to put it up this way. I'm going to take the Sharpie marker and make little keys where these pieces of paper go. I'll try to illustrate this before it dries, but basically I'm just going to put one of these in every corner. So I'll be back once this dries for a second, because the Sharpie marker can't write on rubbing alcohol. Alright, so those are those keys. Now what I'm going to do is, just like the last video, I'm going to use damar varnish. I put it in this little thing so I don't have to use a brush. And I'm going to put damar varnish in this area between the keys. I'm going to try not to touch the keys too much because it will smudge them. I can blot, but I can't rub. Nice. So you should see a nice oily sheen on the top of that. It doesn't matter about, like let's say it's wetter over in this area or not. Alright, now I'll let that dry for 5 to 10 minutes. It should be sticky. Once it's sticky, it's ready to go. Alright, so that's ready. So now I'm going to composition these back together. Kind of use some tweezers so that I can see keys. Hands don't get in the way of them. There we go. Again, Ugu. You can use Ugu, or you can use a piece of vulcanized rubber for this. Basically what you're doing is you're blocking the fumes of acetone in. So we're going to be using acetone to adhere the ink to the varnish. Okay, so the varnish and the varnish and the toner mixed together as one. Long story short, rubbing alcohol doesn't hurt the toner. Acetone eats the toner. So one single sheet of paper towel dosed in acetone, and right now it's really wet, so I don't want it that wet. I just want it partially wet. Wave it in the air a little bit. Put it over the top of the composition. Cover over the artwork with a piece of rubber or ugu. Anything that is not acetone and doesn't get eaten by acetone. Vulcanized rubber will get eaten by acetone. The substance I'm using, ugu, does not. Maybe I'll put a video on how to make this below. I also mentioned this in my other video on how to do this, but okay, lift that up. Again, that should be brown. It should feel dry. And I'm just going to gently pull this back just to make sure everything went right. Yep. Nice. And cool. And we have liftoff. So that's how I could composition many different things together on the same engraving plate. Fun, right? I hope you enjoyed.